Good afternoon, everybody. Best5Zach here. I thought we would do something a little different this month, and hopefully we'll keep doing this every month. You've probably read that I do my monthly review on Mystery Tackle Box. Now, if you're not familiar with Mystery Tackle Box, for $15 a month, they send you a virtual grab bag of toys and tools. Now, apparently, back in the day when people would give out these grab bags, you never know what you were going to get, and that's still the case. But most of the time, you got a lot of stuff that you didn't care about or things that were just novelty baits. Well, that's not really the case here. My wife found this for me for Christmas and surprised me with it. I'm not sure how she found it, probably on the internet or whatever, and I was immediately infatuated with the idea. So I did a review the first go round, and I did a review for January, and it seemed to go over real well. And I'd like to say that it was all about maybe getting the hits on the site. To be perfectly honest, though, this was an opportunity for me to be a better fisherman. See, if you go back and read my New Year's resolutions, you'll see that one of the things that I wanted to do was to get better with different baits, specifically maybe techniques and methods that I don't use. For example, if you've read up on me, I have been almost entirely a power fisherman from here on out. Not very good at it, and I admit that. But when things got tough, it was hard for me to catch fish because I didn't throw any finesse baits, and I didn't do any drop shotting, and I really didn't have a lot of versatile baits. And in today's world, especially on the TVA chain, having a bait that's a little different than everybody else will make all the difference in the world. And considering that we have so many big box stores now that sell all the same things, that's virtually impossible. And finding somebody that sells a different bait is also very hard, but Mr. Tackle Box makes that easy for you. So let's get to it, shall we? So you open the box, and the first thing you see is maybe a couple of baits, like we have Flippin' the Bird, which looks like it's obviously a topwater bait here. We'll get to it. And we get About Your Box, which is a great thing. One of my favorite parts of this box. See, it tells you all about the different baits that you're getting, how much they cost, and how to use them. Some perks that they have, and it's obviously very well done, very colorful. You get a couple of cards to hand out to your friends that they can get a $5 first box for. I've given out more than my share, as a matter of fact. These make great little things to give to people if they're trying to get started in fishing, but they don't know what to use. We'll give them this, and they can get a box and go use what's in the box. We have a little contest here, a little scratch off, which apparently I've got some sort of discount that I got to look into. A little sticker. Of course, my door in my office has stickers all over it, and my tackle boxes do as well. We're going to have some bull rivets, which I have a lot of experience with. Cinnamon salted backwater tackle 7-inch worm. And the rage tail shell cracker. And we also have some mustad hooks, which we probably won't spend a lot of time on these because there's only, really 3 major manufacturers of hooks, and we all have our favorite. But Mustad is obviously a very good hook manufacturer. Okay, well, now that we've got our box open and we've seen what's in it, we're going to just take a couple of first impressions. Now, I don't get paid by any of these companies. I don't get paid by Mr. Tackle Box, and I don't get free things. But I'm going to give you my first impressions of everything as I open it up from the package and give you an honest account of what I think about it, how I would use it, maybe what I think about its durability, and we'll go from there. So let's take each bait out, see what it looks like, how it feels, what it smells like, and what we think we'll do with it. So this is a bait company called Backwater. This is their 7-inch worm. I never heard of this bait company, as usual with most of these things, but I immediately was really interested in it because the 7-inch worm is a little different size than most places we see. Most of the companies out there, whether it's Gamble or Yum or whomever, they pretty much have a 6-inch worm, 8-inch worm, 10-inch Magnum worm. Now in Guntersville, again, that's a big deal. Come deep summer, everybody's throwing those really big Magnum worms. But on tough days, sometimes I find that I want to be throwing something maybe a little different, more subtle. I mean, obviously the worms work, but maybe I want to throw something a little different. Well, this gives us a great option here. Again, it's a 7-inch worm. It's just a slightly different profile. It's got a thick head and a really long ribbon tail. Now, the first thing I noticed when I pulled this out of the package was the smell. It's got a very loud smell to it, obviously garlic. Obviously, this is a standard watermelon with a couple of different color flake in it. It has a very unique ridge profile here, which I assume that when the bass pick it up, that's going to make it feel natural and real. It certainly feels that way to me. This nice long tail is going to give you a nice flutter. It's going to move a good bit of water. Overall, very interesting bait. Looking forward to looking them up on the internet and seeing about getting more bait from them. Backwater 7-inch worm. This is a topwater hollow belly frog type bait made by Flippin' the Bird. And again, since I'm a big Gunnersville fisherman, this is a big deal. You know, if you don't know how to throw a frog, you don't have a chance at really doing very well on Gunnersville, especially when you talk about deep summer, fall, late fall. I mean, almost half the year, you've got to be able to throw a frog bait. Now, my buddy John, that y'all have probably seen me fishing with, is always talking about, man, I wish somebody would make a topwater lure that mimics like a duck or a bird. And he swears all the time about how there used to be a bait company that did that, but now he can't find them. Well, so imagine, you know, the laugh I got when I pulled this guy out, and it's, you know, painted up to look like a baby bird. So let's get it out of the package here. Now, it's got a lot of things coming off of it, you know, to make it move a lot of water, to give it that big presentation. You see the fit and finish on it, you know, the little feet here. Now, one of the things that I really like about it are these little hook slots that are put down the side that are going to keep these hooks from getting snagged up on everything. Now, of course, the problem is, you know, most time when you order a Spro or Snag Proof, one of the first things that we do is we bend the hooks up to help our hookup ratio. So that may, you know, if you were to do that, you may have to undo that. Now, this is a 5/8 ounce. This doesn't really have a weight on it like your Spros do. Of course, they're half-ounce baits. So I'm wondering how easy it is going to be to throw, and it's also very tough plastic, which is good if you are practiced and you know how to. You're not going to have problems with hook sets. This is great because the bait will stay alive. You know, you're not going to have to replace it all the time. The downside is if you don't have a lot of experience with a frog, hooking up is going to be pretty tough with a tougher bait. So that's something that you're going to have to keep in mind. This is the Ragetail Shell Cracker. And it's a competitor to the Big Bite Baits Warmouth that was really a big deal last year. It's a bait fish shaped bait that you hook here across the middle, and it's great for flipping. And also, I like to think of it as a great sea rig. These are definitely have a scent. I think it's a coffee scent. Sure smells that way. Yes, it says now a coffee scent. These are really nice bait. These are something that I actually would like to use this year on my sea rigs to kind of give a different presentation. You know, normally people throw, you know, lizards or creature baits on their sea rig or big worms, and I thought, well, if you could hook this across the middle and it, you know, flutters down like a wounded bait fish, well, you've really got something unique there. So this is a great deal. Has a nice little hook keeper here, and you know, you don't have to go find that Big Bite Baits. You can go find the Strike King Ragetail. It doesn't quite have the fit and finish of the Big Bite Baits, but then again, you know, you really don't need a whole lot, I don't think. So our next item up is the bull ribbit from Stanley. Now, I've got a lot of experience using this bait. I used a lot on Gunnersville before the grass gets up and gets real thick, and you have to go almost entirely to a hollow body frog. This is a great lure to use, and even when the grass gets up, it's, you know, very useful to have, you know, one rod with a hollow belly, and then and one with this. It comes across the top of the grass real well. So this is their bull ribbit, and I don't like to sway you on baits, but all the other brands that I use, if you store them for more than a month or so, they get to where they don't like the legs to kick. And the Stanleys don't have that, and I don't know if it's just the construction of the rubber they use. I think it's actually the length they use on their legs. But some of the other brands have shorter legs, and they get heat treated, and they don't make the splashing and the kicking. So I've kind of moved away from those, and I use almost entirely the bull rivets. So I really like them. Now let me give you a quick trick. Now these come in a lot of different colors, and even color combos for that matter. But I stay away from the the two or more colored ones, because what happens is they pour one layer of one color and then they're going to pour one of another, and to keep those from mixing they have to wait a while, but that plastic ends up setting up, and so they will actually delaminate very easily down the midline of the frog. So if you have a solid color, you won't have that problem, and that is a significant problem. So use it if you like, and I'm not trying to keep you from doing that if that's what you like to use. But I stick with the solid colors simply because they don't have the delamination problems. We talked about the kicking of the legs, and I think it's a lot because of the long legs that they have compared to those that are made by Yum or whomever. But it comes at a price. Because they're long and because they're thin, if you get short strikes, it tears the legs off of them. And considering the price for all baits these days, you can very easily go through a lot of different baits very quickly. So that wraps up this month's mystery tackle box. And again, these guys put out a box that's $15 a month. You can start at any time. And what I like about them, as opposed to the grab bag tackle stuff of old, is that this stuff is always quality stuff. And it's been great for me, like I said, for wanting to learn new methods that, they've all been quality baits that I want to use. They've all been unique in one way or the other, and I've had no problem. So I would encourage all of you to look into getting this. It's a way to find bait companies that you wouldn't normally find, especially not at your big chain stores. So make sure you check them out on Facebook. You can find them on the internet and, of course, on my blog. So we'll see you next time on Best5Zach.